This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, very good evening. Welcome to Amazon Web Services. So today in this lecture we are going to discuss AWS Cloud Storage. So in the last lecture we have been completed what is EBS volumes, that is block storage. Now in this lecture we are going to discuss object storage. So that is called what? Amazon S3. S3 is easy to use object storage with a simple web service interface to store and retrieve any amount of data from anywhere on the web. So it is an object storage. Object storage means cloud storage. So this object storage doesn't support for file systems. No need to build any file systems. We can store any kind of data within the storage. So like Google Drive. This kind of storages doesn't support for installations, database creations, and formatting. Creating file systems like that. But you can access the storage anywhere from the web. But block storages can access over the OS. So that volumes can be attached to instance, then only you can access. But here, no need to attach any instances. So we have an interface, then directly we can access it. And objects are synced across all availability zones for extremely high availability and durability. So the data guarantee is 99.99999%. Then why need to guarantee of 99.99? Because of we don't have any file system in the storage. When the file systems are running in the storage, data is not guaranteed to 99.99 because file systems are corrupted. Definitely we'll lose the what data. But here we don't have any file systems in the storage, so that's why data guarantee is 99.999%. And objects are synced in buckets. Objects are stored in buckets. So S3 supports bucket concept. What is meant by bucket? Buckets are the main storage container for objects. So you want to store any object in the bucket. What is meant by object here? A object is a one file or one movie, one song, one document, one text file, or anything is a one object. So those objects you can store inside the bucket. That bucket is a what? One container. Then each bucket name must have a unique namespace across all of AWS. I mean bucket name should be unique. So if I create any bucket name with cloud, so we cannot create a what with same name but with same bucket name. That's why bucket names are unique namespace. But the size of the bucket is unlimited. There is unlimited storage. How many buckets per an account? 100 buckets per an account. You can create 100 buckets per an account. But what is the reason to create buckets? Serving content to customers, sharing data with EC2 instances. You can serve the content with customers. So nowadays, the Prime Videos, Hotstar, Netflix, lot of data. Content, movies, everything, web series contents, lot of things. The backend maintained by object storage. I mean, those applications backend maintained object storages. So easily to sharing the word content with customers and even can access the same data with EC2 instances also. But what is meant by object? Objects are static files, contain metadata information. All objects are private by default. All objects by default private. If you create any object, by default private. And objects can be small as 0 bytes and large as 5 terabytes. Be made publicly available via URL. So you can access the what objects via the URL because every object maintain the what URL. You can upload the what objects in the bucket, minimum 0 bytes, maximum 5 terabyte of each object. And what is the security of S3? So if you load objects in the bucket, what kind of security in the backend? All buckets created in private mode. Even buckets are private, objects also private by default. Bucket access controlled by bucket policies, access control lists. I mean access controlled by bucket policies and ACLs. Object access controlled by ACLs. Buckets and objects both are controlled by ACLs. Bucket activity tracking. So you want to trace the bucket activity. We can use logs and events also. We can use logs and events. And objects encryption. So you want to encrypt the what objects. Then server side encryption is there. Client side encryption also is there. So server side encryption means while uploading objects, automatically the data will encrypt. I mean everything take care of the what AWS. So while uploading data, we need to select the what encryption options. But AWS offers the server side encryption options are SSE S3, SSE KMS, SSE C. So these three are the what options to encrypt the what objects in server side. But what is meant by client side encryption? So the encryption and decryption handled at client end. S3 sees only encrypted objects. So the meaning is you must encrypt the data in your local disk system. After encrypting data, you can upload it in your buckets. Okay, that is called what client side. Then S3 storage classes. These are the important. Please watch it once. Right. So what are the S3 storage classes? Very important. Each object must be assigned a storage type, which determines object's availability, durability, and cost. So what are the storage classes? I mean, while uploading objects, we need to select the what? One storage class. The storage class represents, why need to select the storage class? It represents cost, availability, durability. For example, if you select the word storage class standard, then the data is frequently accessible data. I mean, you can access that objects anytime, but your data replicated to more than three availability zones. I mean, if you upload the word object in the bucket, that bucket, for example, in the Virginia region, so then your objects are replicated to within the region multiple availability zones. I mean more than three availability zones. Same like for example, intelligent tiering, standard IA. Standard IA means infrequent access, long-lived, infrequently accessible data. Long-lived, infrequently accessible data. So it is more than three availability zones, but data is minimum 30 days you must to store it. Duration is 30 days. Same like standard class, intelligent tiering, standard IA, one zone IA, glacier, glacier deep archive, reduced redundancy. So for example, I have a important content. So that content I want to access daily. Then definitely we need to select standard class. In case you want to access the content from the bucket infrequently, means okay monthly once or twice, then why need to waste your money with standard? Then you can select standard IA. When the content is infrequent access, then select the what standard IA. Sir, my data is a what not an important, but I want to store inside the bucket, but no need even replication also. Then we can select the what one zone IA. Data is not replicated multiple zones, then they are not maintaining the what multiple zones, definitely they will reduce the price. So based on the what content, based on the what importance, you need to select the what storage classes, right? So I will show you where is that. But by default the storage class is standard. So even if you don't select any storage class while uploading object, then by default it maintain the what standard is the what class. By default storage class is standard. That standard class is 5 GB is free. So what is the free type? 5 GB object storage is free, but which class storage? Standard class storage. Right. Now I will show you how to upload and how to create your objects. Now under services, storage S3 is the storage type. Under S3, only we have one bucket. Create bucket. The bucket name is unique namespace. Okay, for example, sysgex is the bucket name. Sysgex AWS is the bucket name. Now, where to create this bucket? The bucket is under US East 1 Virginia region. Then, object ownership. So ACLs are disabled. I mean, you want to access this bucket publicly, then we can enable the what? ACLs enabled. Then, who is the owner of the bucket? Myself, bucket owner preferred myself. Then, block public access settings for this bucket. So if you uncheck this bucket option, then you will access the what content from the bucket through internet. I mean, you can access the what bucket content over the web. If you select this, you unable to access the what data. So that's why unselect, block all public access. Then if I unblock, what happened? I know that. So that's why I knowledge on that current settings might result in the bucket on the objects. And no need remaining directly here. See this. The default encryption option, disable server side and enable it server side encryption. So if you select, so which encryption tool you will use? So Amazon S3 managed keys, AWS key management services. Okay, I want to disable because no need server side encryption. If you select anything, then by default it will encrypt your data, but they will charge for encryption, but no need to encrypt. And directly create bucket. Right. So the bucket successfully created. The bucket name is sysgex AWS. Okay, objects can be public. Then if you click on the what bucket, now here is the option create folders in the bucket, upload objects in the bucket, or upload objects in the bucket. So now I want to upload some objects. But before uploading, I want to download some files. Okay. For example, AWS images. Okay, I want to upload this image. Then I will download first. Right. So I want to upload this image. Upload, add files. So my objects are under downloads. So I want to upload AWS logo image. Open. Then here see this. Here destination. This is the bucket name. And the next, permissions no need to select. By default, it is called what ACLs are the blocking. And under properties, storage classes. By default, storage class is standard. If you want to upload any object with any storage class, then we can select the different storage classes. Now we are uploading with standard. Then create, upload it. Now my object is successfully uploaded. Close it. Right. What is the object name? This is the object. Once again, I want to upload one more file. Add files. Here I want to upload VSFTPD file, and then I want to upload with a different class. Okay, my class type is OneZone. Then upload it. Now successfully uploaded. So how many objects in the bucket? Two objects. This is one, this is two. Okay, so now observe. The first one is storage class is standard, and the second one is the storage class type is OneZone. Right? So now like this we can upload multiple objects with the different classes. But by default storage class is standard. The standard is what? Frequent access data. Now you want to access this object, click on the object name. So now the object properties are here. So who is the owner of the object? So what is the object size? What is the object type? And what is the bucket URL? And now this is the what object URL. So copy this object URL, then paste it and try to access the object. See that by default objects are private. Then you must make a public first. So object access, these are all of the common options. Easily know that copy, move, rename and everything. Now I want to make a public using ACL. Then make public. Now my objects is a public. So now try to refresh it. Now this is the what? Access. So like this, you want to share content with people. Then you can upload movie or songs or anything. Then you can share this URL with the end user. Then they will access movie directly through this URL. So you want to share the data with people, I mean your customers, the best option is S3 bucket. You want to download the object, this is the option to download. And again, the same options are here, download as, share with persons and like that. Right. And now, the second important thing, every object maintain, I mean buckets maintain some properties. So what are the properties? Here, the first properties, S3 versioning. To keep multiple versions of an object in one bucket. Once enabled, can only be suspended, not disabled. So like versioning means it is like in DevOps, Git concept. So what is meant by Git? To keep multiple objects in this, to keep an object in the same bucket. I mean to keep multiple versions of an object in one bucket. So for example, I uploaded one object with a file name file1. But is it possible to same file name with another person or same version? By default, it is not possible. But after enabling versioning, you can upload the word same file in the same bucket. Because AWS S3 bucket control like it will version control. So the version control is to maintain multiple timestamps. I will show you here. See. For example, I want to make it one file. The file name is script.sh is the file name. Okay, I want to write something like this is the program, just assume bin bash. Okay, I want to print a message like this is the coding echo. So this is a Raju. Then to save a file, two lines are there. So now I want to upload this object. Upload, add files. Under desktop, the file name is script.sh. Open. Now upload it. Now close. So now object successfully uploaded script.sh file. But now the next important thing, the next important thing, is it possible now upload with same file name? Actually by default, not possible with the same file name. But if you upload with same file name, the existing file is override. But I want to maintain both files. I mean both versions in the same file. Then see the properties here, edit bucket versioning. So click on the what? Edit option, then enable the what? Versioning feature. Then save changes. Right. Now the bucket version successfully enabled. See that the bucket version is enabled. Then now I want to upload the what same file with a different content again. Now I'm adding third line. Okay. This is a sample shell program, shell script. I added third line. Now I'm uploading the what same file in the bucket. Now observe the objects, upload, add files, then again script.sh. After uploading, then where is the both timestamps? Here only one file, script.sh. Just click on that. Now under versions, here under versions, we have two files. The first file size is 37 standard, then second file is 71. So both versions are available. So this is the way to maintain multiple timestamps of a same file. So even you want the first program, then you can download this. You want to download the second update, then you can download this. But by default, it maintain last timestamp, latest timestamp. So that is called what? Bucket property of versioning. Then second one is server access logging. I mean, you want to store the logs. So if you do something in the bucket, then everything I want to record. So where to store the logs related to this bucket? Then we can by default server access logging is disabled. If you enable this, then it is asking the what bucket name. I mean where to store the what this bucket logs, this bucket activity logs. So now browse it and select the what any bucket name. Now again I selected the what same bucket. Then what happened? So these related bucket logs are located in this bucket of sysgigs AWS. Now save changes. Now every activity related to this bucket is saved under the sysgigs. Then the next important thing, you know that already, AWS CloudTrail data events. I told you in the CloudTrail concept. So this bucket is integrate. If just create a bucket, this bucket integrated with what CloudTrail. What is the use of CloudTrail? The CloudTrail is auditing service. So if you start something in this account, everything is recorded by CloudTrail. But by default, CloudTrail maintain the what events under the dashboard only. But I want to store the what events in one S3 bucket. Then how to integrate the what S3 bucket? Just we have to create a what CloudTrail. I told you already how to create it. Then event notifications. What is the event notifications? The bucket events. I mean, if you upload objects in the bucket, if you delete the object in the bucket, if you want to copy, put, or something, anything in the bucket, I want to trigger the what notification to email. Then what is the solution, anyone? How to trigger notification to email? What is the concept name? What is the
S-
concept name to trigger the what in? Yes,
SNS.
SNS. Good. So SNS is the what solution to trigger the what notifications, right? So how to trigger the notification? Here, create event notification. The notification name is okay. My S3 alert. Then here prefix name and suffix name. Prefix name means I want to alert only starts with names. For example, cloud. I specified the word cloud. Then what is the meaning? So the line starts with cloud. Then those related strings only alert to SNS. That is called what prefix name. But suffix means only .py. I mean any file .py. I mean .python program. It is notified to alerts. So that is called what prefix and suffix. Suffix means what ending. Prefix means what beginning. Okay, I don't want to provide any other things because even any suffix or prefix in the bucket activities are under this bucket. The activities, all objects, private events, or any object is removal events. I want to trigger the what notifications. Only deleted triggers notification I want. So permanently delete or delete marker created. So any objects related these two, then it will trigger your notification. Then how to trigger it? Under SNS. So the notification type S3 bucket. Then save changes. Right? Already you know that S3 bucket. So this bucket is already integrated with what? My email ID. Now in this bucket, any triggers, I mean any events related to permanently deleted or deleted marker created, then it will notify the what notifications. So those are the what things. So event notifications. And the next important thing, this is very important option, please do it. S3 static website hosting. This is a very important feature. S3 can host entire static website. Just 1 second, plus read it, I will bring water. Right. What is S3 static website hosting? S3 can host entire static website, requires no virtual machines or instances, static only, cannot serve database driven content. Okay, generally you want to host any website, definitely one instance is required. On the instance, you have to install Apache HTTPD or Microsoft IIS or Tomcat. You can install the what any web server. Then you can host the what website. That is the way. But S3, the beautiful feature is no need to install any virtual server. So S3, the feature is static website hosting. You can enable this feature, you can host the what website. So how it is possible? See this. So for example, first create one bucket, but better in the environment, how to make it this option, create a bucket with your business domain name. Okay, for example, I have a domain. My domain name is www.sysgigs. Sysgigs.in is my domain name. So because my channel is sysgigs.in is the what website. Then we are creating the what bucket with same bucket name and ACLs enabled and unblocking the public access. And here is the option bucket versioning. You want to maintain multiple versions, enable it directly here. Then create bucket. But here the bucket name is already created. See, bucket with the same name already exists. So now I will go for sysgigs.co.in. Then create bucket. So again, the same bucket name is already exist. Okay, I forget to select here. Then create bucket. Right. So the bucket successfully created. What is the bucket name? www.sysgigs.co.in is my bucket name. Then open this bucket and then under properties, the last one is static website hosting. Then edit, enable. Now here, host a static website, redirect request for an object. I want to hosting type static website. Then the primary page, the home page is index.html and error document is error.html. I mean, if the index page is not index.html page is not loaded, then it will rewrite to error.html. Now save changes. Then we need to upload the two pages in the bucket. What are the two pages? Index.html and error.html. But already I have two pages, index.html and error.html. Now I'm opening the what? This index.html code. Okay, mark you, welcome to AWS is the message. So please be create the two pages in your laptops. So I know you know that how to create it, index.html and error.html. Now I want to upload these two files. So how to upload? So upload in the same bucket under objects, upload. What is the bucket name? sysgigs.co.in. Now we are uploading, add files. So the pages are under storage S3. Then here index.html, error.html. Then upload it. So now the two pages are successfully uploaded. Then try to access the bucket. So the static website hosting maintain one URL. This is the URL. Copy and paste in the web browser. So we cannot access the what bucket, I mean domain. Then what is the next solution? So by default, objects and buckets are private. So that's why we need to make a bucket public. So what is the option to make a public? Where is the option to make a public? Here in the same bucket, permissions options is there. Under this permission option, here bucket policy. Edit bucket policy, then write a code here. So how to add a bucket policy? Then go to Google S3 bucket policy. Then the sample examples of bucket policies. So this is the option. See, it is granting read-only permissions to an anonymous user. So where is the code? This is the code. So here the policy code. The policy code name is allow. Then S3 objects, and which objects you want to allow. So we need to write the word bucket name here. Under bucket, star means everything. Just copy this code and paste it here and change the bucket name only. And what is your bucket name? So the bucket name is www.sysgigs.co.in is my bucket. So inside this bucket, everything will access with read only. Now finally save changes. But after saving changes, now see that sysgigs.co.in is publicly accessible. So then go to and refresh the page, right? So this is the way to access the word bucket. I mean static website hosting website. Then the next important feature, what is bucket lifecycle policies? This is also important for interviews. An object lifecycle policy is a set of rules that automate the migration of an object's storage class to a different storage class based on specific time intervals. So just now I told you, I have been uploaded one object with a standard, but I want to migrate that standard class to another storage class automatically. So first 30 days I want to maintain the one object with the standard class. But next 30 days I don't want standard class, I want standard IA. Then how you can setting, it will automatically migrate one storage class type to another storage class type. Then we will use life cycle policies. The minimum time interval is the minimum time interval 30 days. So what is the meaning? Just one storage class type to another storage class type, but definitely the gap, I mean one storage class should be maintained 30 days minimum. Then how to create it? The life cycle policy. So now again, go to the buckets. I want to create a what? Under management. This is the what life cycle rules. Then create life cycle rule. Then life cycle rule name is migrating storage class. Migrating storage class. But now limited the scope of the rules using one or more filters are applied to all objects in the bucket. I mean you want to migrate only specific objects, means select this. No, I want to migrate all objects in the bucket. Then, so these are the what lifecycle rule actions. Move current versions of object between storage classes and move non-current versions of object between storage class. So just now I told you, which is called what? S3 versioning. So old timestamps, new timestamp files are there, but I want to migrate only not current versions objects. So old timestamp objects you want to migrate, but current latest timestamp objects don't need, no need to migrate. So expire current versions object, no. So permanently delete non-current versions of objects, and delete expired object, delete markers or incomplete multi-part uploads. So any expired objects are there, it will delete it. Now I selected some options. Then based on the options, here we can write the rule. What is that? Choose storage class transition. Standard IA. I mean, if you upload any object with any storage class, that storage class to standard IA after 30 days. But if you write less than 30 days, not accepted. Minimum of 30 days. So that's why 30 days. But after standard IA, the data is migrated to one zone IA after 60 days. Means your objects are migrate standard to standard IA after 30 days, and after 60 days standard IA to one zone IA. But again I want to roll, so permanently it will go for Glacier Deep Archive after 90 days. So what is the Glacier Deep Archive? It is a backup like, I mean archival storage, zipped formatted accepted. So after 90 days, the data is what? Archival storage. Then acknowledge on that, what happened? Then days of after objects become non-current. So expiration is required for the selected action. Enter a value or deselect the what action. But every option that is called what? Permanently delete non-current versions of object. So after 95 days. Or see that the integer value must be greater than 90, because in the last action is 90. So that's why it is called what? After 120 days, then permanently delete non-current versions of objects. Then delete expired objects. Then delete the word expired object and incompatible options after 7 days. After 120 days plus 7 days, it will, after 120 days it will waiting for 7 days again, then it will delete everything. So this is the action select. So day 0 objects become non-current. After 30 days objects become a standard AI. After 60 days objects become a one zone AI. After 90 days objects become a Glacier Deep Archive. After 120 days permanently deleted. Then create rule. So this is the way the objects automatically migrate from one storage class to another storage class. But you want to change the options, then here edit option is there. Then again you can change the what actions, or you want to disable temporarily, then in the actions disable rule, or you don't want a rule, then delete your rule. Then the last important option, S3 cross region replication. So this is also important. For example, in my environment, developers are there, production team is also is there, but one bucket for developers, another bucket for production team. But when the developers uploading objects in the bucket, those objects to replicate to production bucket. How to do that? I mean, see that automatic and asynchronous copying of objects across buckets in different AWS region. So how objects to replicate one bucket to another bucket? So if I upload any object in one bucket, then those objects, how it will replicate to another object. So then we need to create two buckets in different regions or different accounts. For example, in my account, one bucket is there. And in your account, you have a one more bucket. But if I upload any object in my account bucket, so those objects, it will replicate automatically to in your bucket. Then how can you sync my bucket to your bucket? That is called what? Cross region replication or cross account replication. Both are possible. But I will tell you practically here. See this. I have already one bucket. The bucket name is sysgigs AWS in the Virginia region. I will make it another bucket sysgigs like Azure. The different bucket name is Mumbai, for example. This is my second one. Then ACLs enabled, unpublic access, and I knowledge on that. And I've enabled the what bucket versioning because bucket should be enabled with versioning. Then create bucket. Now we have two buckets: sysgigs AWS, sysgigs Azure. This is Mumbai region. This is Virginia region. Now let me delete all objects in the bucket. So now both buckets are empty, and these are the what log files are created. Okay, no issue. So now we have two buckets. One bucket name is sysgigs AWS, another bucket name is sysgigs Azure. Now I want to replicate AWS to Azure bucket. But see this, the both buckets are different region. Now in the source bucket, you can keep it anything. Under management, replication rules. And create replication rule. The rule name is, okay, sysgigs AWS to Azure bucket. Okay, the rule name. And the status is enabled. And source bucket name is apply to all objects in the bucket. And what is my destination bucket name? The replication bucket name is in the same account, select this. In case the bucket is in another account, select and write the what account ID bucket name. Okay, the bucket also in the same account. The second bucket name is sysgigs Azure. So I selected my destination bucket where to replicate. Then here create one IAM role, automatically it will create. And destination storage class. I mean, if you upload in the source bucket standard, by default, destination side also standard. But I don't want in the destination side standard. So I want to change the word destination side bucket. So destination side bucket name is standard IA class. Then no need any other options, directly can save it. So existing objects. So do you want to replicate any existing objects in the bucket? Yes, replicate existing objects also. Then submit it. So now save it and path to complete report destination and where to destination. The destination path is sysgigs Azure. Then save it. So the rule successfully created. Now both buckets are empty. Both buckets are empty. Now if I upload any object in the source bucket, observe. If I upload any object in the source bucket, this is my source bucket. We are uploading the what object, add files. Okay, I'm uploading one image file. Then upload it. Then close it. So now 0.png file successfully uploaded. Now this object replicated to my destination bucket. Where is the destination bucket? This is the Azure file. See that existing files also synchronized. Now what about 0.png file? So now it's being to replicate. So after a few moments, you are able to see the message of 0.png file also. It will take few seconds, not minutes. Okay, so it will upload it. And the next important thing, you know that how to delete a bucket, how to delete a buckets, and how to create a buckets in the command line. See, same actions I already told you. The same way, how to delete and how to create your buckets. So in the GUI, you know that AWS S3 LS. So this is the option to list buckets. So what are the buckets? Sysgigs, AWS, Sysgigs, Azure, sysgigs.co.in, sysgigs.in. How to make it a new bucket? AWS S3, MB means bake bucket. Then under S3, I want to create a bucket like sysgigs dot sysgigs hyphen GCP Google Cloud. Then check it ls. Now we can refresh here. So sysgig.gcp file successfully uploaded. Right? Then how to delete a bucket in the command line? The same bucket rp. Rp means what? Remove bucket. So like in the command line, it's also possible. Everything you can pass like that. Then the next important option. So AWS S3 maintained the separate class for Glacier. So this is also one storage class, but we have a service for the S3 Glacier. What is S3 Glacier? Glacier is a storage service optimized for infrequently used data or cold data. Infrequently used data or cold data. I mean, you want to take backups, then we will use the word S3 Glacier. But it is a secure, durable, and extremely low cost for data archiving and long-term backups. You want to take long-term backups, then you will use the word Glacier. Minimum storage period is 90 days. Means Glacier doesn't support for frequent access. You want to store the data with minimum 90 days, then only go for the Glacier. That's why it is a what? Backup storage for long term. But objects can be sent to Glacier using lifecycle management policies. Then here vaults. Glacier uses vaults as containers to store archives or ZIPs. S3 concept name is bucket, but here is the word vaults. Vault is a container for storing ZIP files. Why need calling ZIP files here? Why we are using ZIP files? If you store the word directly raw data, it is almost like uploading purpose. It will take a long time and it will upload with exact size. I mean, if you upload 1 TB, the same size it will upload if you take raw data. But before uploading, if you zip it, then 1 TB is maybe 600 GB or 700 GB. Then even you will save the what time and cost also. That's why better will upload with zip files. An archive can be any data such as photo, video, document, or anything. So vault size is unlimited. Vault size is unlimited. Vault means what? Like S3 bucket. Here it's calling vault. Then archives. What is mean by archive? Data is stored in Amazon Glacier in archives. An archive means tar or zip file. Archive means what? Zip file. A single archive can be large as 40 terabytes. So one object size in the S3 bucket, 5 terabyte. But here one archive size is 40 terabyte. You can upload it. So long-term backup purpose, only backup, no use any other things. Then where is the S3 Glacier? Here under storage S3 Glacier. Then create vault. The vault name is Okay, my backup. Vault name is my backup. Then no need any notification, event notifications. Directly create vault. The vault is making under Mumbai region. Otherwise, I will make it under Virginia region. Okay, now create vault. The vault name is my backup. Then create vault. So the vault successfully created. But guys, we cannot upload any object or any zip files directly in the vault because through management console in the Amazon S3 Glacier, we cannot upload, we cannot download, only delete and create options. Then how can you upload the data in the vault? Then we can use the word third party. So now in the Google type Glacier, Glacier tools, Glacier tools. So the best option, fast Glacier is the option. For example, you will create your EC2 instance, but you want to manage that EC2. Yes, in the Windows you can install the word putty, then connect and manage it. Same way, you want to manage Glacier, we can use the word third party tool. Lot of tools are there, but one of the best tool, Fast Glacier. Download Fast Glacier, then install it first. Install Fast Glacier, then accept the license. Next, finish. Then after we need to add the what account. So how to add the account? Okay, so here is the option account, but already I added, but first time, so already I added, but you are not getting the what regions. That is the problem here. Okay, no issue. So here is the what my account Razu. Okay, first I will delete the what my past class here. Okay, here add a new account. The account name is Razu. Then account type Amazon Glacier. Here add access key ID and secret key ID. You know that how to add the what access key ID. Okay, I want to add the what access key ID with my root case. Okay, let me add first access key ID. Then it will add the what secret key ID. After adding keys, it will automatically connect the what account. Then add new account. Successfully added. Then after adding, now go for expand your Virginia region. Now you have a what you have been created. Okay. I mean your vault name. So now it's refreshing. So after you can select the what your vault name, and here is the option upload and download. So with help of use upload and download options, you can upload your data into S3 vaults. So that is called what S3 Glacier. So you can upload and download over the tools only, but you can create and delete the what vaults. You can use the what management console access. So we can use through management console access. So where is the console? So we can use like this. But you want to delete your vault, then select and delete the vaults. But no need any S3 Glacier service, just yourself only S3. But S3 Glacier is a backup service for long-term backups. It is only backup service. You want to keep long-term backups, then S3 Glacier. But you can connect the Glacier with help of third-party tools only. But we cannot upload and download over the management console, right? This is S3 class. And Monday, I will explain networking classes. I will take networking concepts. Thank you. See you on
Okay,
Monday.
sir.